obviously tomorrow, we're expecting a pause, about a 70% chance, and that's on the conservative end. I was looking at reports today saying that there was about 80% chance. So expect a pause tomorrow.
It's like the weatherman saying
what
it's
I'm
going to be
thinking.
sunny or not.
Good chance rain.
That's right. Snowflake.
A big reason for the pause is we had a good report due. A good report come out in September. Core inflation down, headline inflation down. So that's both what we like to see. And then jobs still holding steady for September. But one thing to look at is we're seeing banks now cut their workforce quite a bit.
Yeah.
My mom works at Scotiabank. She had a tough week this week, honestly. She had a couple of her colleagues get cut. So whatever, yeah, that started off with Scotiabank. And
CIBC too.
yep, other banks are following suit, and this is just the start of it. They've said that they are reserving the right to lay off more people, so we'll see. Praying for mom here. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke.
We should hold a fundraiser for the banks. Maybe like a bake sale.
That's what they like, eh?
Go down well.
Rates are still the same from week over week. So nothing to share there. And then the last tidbit that I wanted to kind of share here is there's been a report that came out from CMHC this week, last week. It's very, very recent. But renewals that are high ratio, so that's people that are originally buying their house with less than 20% down. When those mortgages are coming up for renewal, CMHC has actually said in a report that when they are switching from lender to lender and they're not taking out extra equity out of their house, they actually don't need to re-qualify those loans under the stress test. So in an environment where, obviously interest rates are quite elevated, if you have high ratio clients and they're going to renew, it could be very, very difficult for them to, especially I'm talking about clients that are maybe bought their house in the peak of the pandemic, right, where interest rates were so low. They could find it a little bit hard now to renew in an environment where it's obviously quite elevated. This is something that we have available to us, and obviously it just came out last week, like I said in a report, and we already have lenders that do this. For example, Radius is one of them, but now with this report, we're expecting that more lenders are going to be following suit and allowing this. So again, if you guys do have high ratio clients, this is one thing that we can to help mitigate their expenses and to help them qualify. If they're looking to refinance, unfortunately, they do have to qualify under the stress test, but this is just for straight transfers or renewals. Yep.
Isn't that government policy? How do they get around that?
So it's CMHC that regulates this. CMHC would be that governmental body, and they've essentially said because insured mortgages have essentially mitigated their risk, all of the risk is now off of the bank because those mortgages are insured. So if they were to default, all of the risk is on the insurance company, which would cover the losses. So once it gets underwritten the first time, now the insurance company has essentially mitigated the risk, and the lenders are free to do what they would like. That doesn't mean that the lenders can still they have free reign to apply the stress test if they want. Most lenders do, but like I said, Radius is one bank that would enable clients to transfer without the stress test. So we're expecting that more lenders are going to follow suit, but that is a little tidbit of knowledge that came out last week. So yeah,
That's good to know. That
Would all insurers have that same CMHC?
CMHC can be guarantee, etc. I'm not too sure. Yeah, January. I'm not too sure if all of them are going to be following suit, but the expectation is that they are. They all have to abide by the same guidelines and the same rules. And when the regulatory body says, hey, you know what, this is actually standard practice and this is something that we'll allow, then we're expecting that to be the case. I don't want to come out here and say this is something that we can for sure do with any lender. It's far from that. Radius right now is the only lender that I know to my knowledge that will allow this. But because this report has come out, it's kind of opened the eyes to a lot of mortgage professionals being like, hey, you know what, this is something that is a possibility. And we're expecting that more lenders are going to be able to follow suit on this now that it is, becoming more of a mainstream thing. So especially with higher interest rates, it's kind of, a give and take, supply and demand. Like if this is what the people want, then give it to the people.